from your client side. You won't get to see the PHP code if you just open up a website, and you want to see what's going on behind the scenes on that website, because you are just opening up that website using your web browser. That won't work. Why? Because the PHP code is actually running on the server. The reason why I am pulling this analogy, the reason is that Node is quite similar to that. It will even work on your client side. It will even also work on your server side. We can use it to create a server, a virtual server, and then we can send in requests or responses to that server just like any other website. So what happens is that when you send the request for a website, just like suppose you want to bring up the Google's homepage, which is and you type in the www.google.com, and Google's homepage appears on your screen. What happens behind the scene is actually quite encapsulated or hidden from us. What happens behind the scene is that when you write google.com, www.google.com, and you hit enter, it's actually sending a request to a remote server that's situated somewhere in America or in California, wherever their data center is, wherever Google is actually hosting the site. I guess it's in California. So that server receives your request from that remote location, and then the server actually sends the response. If the server sees that you are requesting the homepage and it has got the homepage stored inside it, then obviously it's going to send a status code first, which means it's going to tell your browser that yes, I have the website or the homepage, and then after it has sent the signal, the green signal, to the server, then it's going to fetch that page from its storage, and it's going to send that page to your browser, and then your browser will display that page. Now this entire process from the beginning of sending the status code till the fetching of the the homepage, and then sending the Google's homepage to your browser, this actually forms the response part. So when you request a page, you're just sending a request. Then the server responds with something like a green signal or a red signal, which means it has some sort of status code to tell your browser that if something goes wrong, it tells that yes, I do not have that page, or my server crashed, or you do not have authority to access that page, or something like that. But if everything goes right and your server is quite content with the request, or it sees that it has all the resources, everything matches up, and it can actually give you the page, then it will throw you the status code of 200, which is actually the green signal for the browser. So the reason why I'm telling you all this is that because Node actually can manipulate the server-side part using also the client-side part. Traditional JavaScript actually cannot go beyond your client part or go beyond your browser. It's only restricted to manipulating your DOM or the document object model. But Node.js takes everything one extra mile. It goes on to creating the server for you. It even launches your website on that virtual server which you have created. Now, to create a virtual server, what we need to do is first create var http require http, then http create server, listen on port 8080, and done. Then again console log server running. Now I have done several stuff in here. You might be actually confused at looking at all of this. You might be familiar with this console log part. which actually displays a message on your console. But the interesting part is when I get this from line 1 to line 3. Now, I haven't actually completed the code. There are several other things that are left. Let me complete that first. Function, I'm going to create an asynchronous function. Then it's going to where it's going to it will need request and response arguments, and then response okay, response right head, response end. Now there are several other stuff going in here, and I will also include several other stuff, but let me just slow down a little bit and explain to you what's happening inside here. First, as usual, this is just a JavaScript variable. Every JavaScript variable is declared and using this var keyword. So whenever you see this var keyword, this is a JavaScript variable, and then I give it a name and I assign a function to it. This is quite, unlikely when we are talking about the coding of any web browser. I mean, any web server, sorry. The reason is that this has got everything this required. HTTP is going to pull up the module that's required to create your server. If you look at this, object that's being stored inside this HTTP, that object will give you something of this method, like the create server method, and it's going to take in an asynchronous function that will have the request and the response arguments. Now let me break this down for you.